You complain about your job to anyone who'll listen. Your friends are tired of hearing it. Your partner knows the script by heart. And yet, when they say, "So leave," you get defensive because they don't understand. It's not that simple. Yeah, that wasn't you being indecisive. That was you clinging to something that's killing you because letting go feels like jumping off a cliff. Welcome to Job Hugging. Today, we're breaking down 3 psychological reasons why leaving feels impossible. Let's talk about why. First reason, you buried your identity in this job. Here's the thing about your job. It's not just where you work, it became who you are. How do you introduce yourself? You lead with your job title. What's on your LinkedIn? Your company name in big letters. When someone asks, "What do you do?" you say, "Your job." And somewhere along the way, the line between you and your work disappeared. Psychologists call this identity fusion, when your self-concept merges with an external thing so completely that separating from it feels like losing yourself. So when you think about leaving, your brain doesn't process it as changing jobs. It processes it as losing yourself. Who are you without that title? Without that company on your resume? The answer is terrifying, because you don't know, and leaving means finding out. That's not you being overdramatic. That's a real identity crisis. And when people ask, "What will you do instead?" and you can't answer, you stop bringing it up. You stay. Not because you want to, but because you can't answer that question. You're not hugging the job. You're hugging the version of yourself the job created. Second reason, you can't walk away from years invested. You've been here 5 years, or 10, or 15, and you think, if I leave now, were all those years wasted? You've invested time and energy and late nights and missed moments, and walking away feels like admitting it was all for nothing. This is textbook sunk cost fallacy, the psychological trap where past investment makes you keep investing in something that's not working, because your brain treats leaving as waste and staying as honoring the investment. Here's the truth, though. The time is already spent. Staying doesn't get it back, it just adds more years to the pile. But that logic doesn't help when you're staring at a decade of your life wondering if it meant anything. That's not you being irrational. That's you trying to make suffering mean something. And then there are the golden handcuffs, the salary and the benefits and the healthcare and the stability. You hate the work, but you love not worrying about money, and you've built a life around that income. Research shows this is loss aversion, the psychological principle that losing something hurts about twice as much as gaining the same thing feels good. So the thought of losing your salary, your benefits, your security, that pain feels twice as real as the potential gain of freedom. And here's what nobody tells you. According to Gallup's research, nearly 60% of workers are quietly disengaged, staying in jobs they've mentally quit. You're not alone in this. And not everyone can afford to leave. Sometimes staying isn't weakness, it's survival. You have people depending on you, bills that don't care about your fulfillment, responsibilities that don't pause while you find yourself. So you stay. And that's not you lacking courage. That's you being realistic about what's at stake. And here's what loss aversion looks like in real life. Picture this. You finally update your resume. You scroll through job boards. You even apply to a few positions. And then you get an interview request. And instead of feeling excited, you feel panic. What if the new job is worse? What if you fail? So you don't respond, because the known misery feels safer than the unknown possibility. And that's the trap. When the devil you know includes a steady paycheck and health insurance, it feels safer than gambling on uncertainty. Okay, we need to talk about why this pattern exists. The system created this. Most companies don't just employ you, they absorb you. They tie your healthcare to your job, your identity to your title. And then they make leaving as painful as possible. You lose benefits immediately. Healthcare ends. The system isn't designed for easy exits. It's designed to keep you trapped with comfort and stability and fear of losing what you've built. Here's what they don't tell you about job hugging. You're not staying because you're weak. You're staying because leaving feels like admitting failure. Yeah, that's not indecision, that's grief. You're mourning a version of yourself you thought this job would create. And letting go means admitting that version isn't coming. That's one of the hardest truths a person can face. If this video helped you feel less alone, hit subscribe. We're here every week breaking down the psychology of work that nobody talks about. Now, not a push to quit, a tool for clarity. The 5-year reality check. Get a piece of paper and draw 2 columns. Left side, write where you'll be in 5 years if you stay at this job. Be brutally honest, not hopeful, honest. Your title, your daily routine, your stress level, your relationships, your health. Right side, write where you'll be if you leave. The uncertainty, the possibilities, the risks, the freedom. Now, read both columns out loud. Which one made your chest tight? Which one let you breathe? Which one made you feel hope versus dread? That's your answer. Not a command, just information. Your body knows the truth before your brain admits it. The identity test. Remove your job title from how you describe yourself. Just for a minute. Who are you without senior manager or director of or whatever label you've been wearing? Who are you in that sentence? What do you like? What makes you curious? What did you care about before this job consumed you? If the answer is, I don't know, that's not a failure. That's data. It tells you how much of yourself you've outsourced to this job. And that awareness alone is powerful, because you can start reclaiming pieces, slowly, even while you're still there. The safety net audit. Before making any decision, ask yourself, do you have 3 to 6 months of savings? Do you have healthcare options outside this job? Can you survive on less income temporarily? Do you have people who'll support you emotionally and maybe financially? If the answer is no to most of these, staying might be survival, not choice. And that's completely valid. This isn't about courage, it's about circumstances. Some people can't afford the luxury of quitting. And acknowledging that reality doesn't make you weak, it makes you honest. The point isn't to pressure you into leaving. The point is clarity. Understanding why you stay doesn't mean you have to leave. Sometimes just knowing it's grief, not weakness, is enough. You can know you should leave and still stay. That's human. So the next time someone says, just quit, remember this. In a system designed to trap you with benefits and fear, staying is often rational adaptation to impossible circumstances. Your worth isn't defined by your job title, even when your job has convinced you otherwise. Now tell me, how long have you been thinking about leaving? Drop the number in the comments. Months? Years? Decades? Be honest, because understanding why you are the way you are, that's not just interesting. That's powerful.